2024 meeting of the West Bridgewater School Committee. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence. Thank you. The listing of matters on tonight's agenda are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. This meeting is being shown live on cable and is being live streamed on the WB Community Access Media website, wbcam-cam.org. A recording of this meeting will also be made available on the wb-cam.org website. I'd like to introduce Ms. Reese Bunker to the committee. Reese, thank you for being here and taking the time for being our student rep tonight. Welcome. First up is the approval of minutes from both our December 4th, 2023 and January 8th, 2024 meetings. I'd like to make a motion to approve both of these meeting minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Next up is, I always say one of my favorite things, recognition. We have pleasure tonight recognizing some of our awesome students for the National History Day competition. Mr. Despierre?
Sure. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Mr. Despierre. I'm the grade 7 social studies teacher here at the Middle Senior High School. I'm here to recognize numerous 7th graders for a job well done on this year's National History Day NHD project. NHD is a project-based learning that is supported by the Massachusetts Historical Society. There's a local competition, a regional competition, a state competition, and a national competition. The students that are here tonight, all of them did an amazing job on these projects. We have 2 groups that are winners that are going to move on to represent West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School on Saturday, March 2nd at Foxborough High School for the regional level of this competition. We also have 2 groups that are receiving an honorable mention for producing awesome work as well. So with that being said, first up we have the Railroad. Christopher Jones, come on up, please. Congratulations. Next we have Tristan Hamley. Good job, Beth. Good job. And finally we have Aaron Hamley. Congratulations. Good job. Okay, the second group of winners we have is Ellis Island. First up, we have Hannah Dragonetti. Congratulations. There you go. Next, we have Charlotte Farrell-Friend. Congratulations. Good job. And finally, we have Abigail Rudolph. Congratulations. Excellent job. Okay, for the honorable mentions, first up we have Jamestown. We have Abigail Bazarek. Excellent job. There you go. Next we have Ella Holland. Excellent job. Congrats. I don't believe, is Nora Schrouder here? Okay. Okay. Next we have Kylie Torrey. Congratulations. And the final group we have Pilgrims in America. We have Miles Musari. Congratulations. Matthew Navin.
Thank you.
Samuel Shanae-Weiss. Very good. All right, very good.
I'm going to ask if I will go to stand over in front of the school committee?
Did I? Yeah, no, we have one more. We have one more, sorry. I'm sorry, I skipped over you. My bad. That was Shayla Howard, Jamestown as well. Congratulations. I'm sorry about that. We have, did you want to do
Yep.
picture?
We'll go over in front of the school. Just head over in front of Mrs. Milton.
Go this way.
Go behind. Nope, right here. In the front, in the front. In the front. We're gonna go right in front. Here, let's give her a one.
Those two are-
We'll get her one tomorrow. Yes.
It just, do we look weird? Like hanging out?
Yeah.
Like a counter?
Yeah, they are.
Donna, can I just say one thing?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Mrs. Dragonetti wasn't able to be here tonight, but she wanted me to extend her congratulations to everyone.
Nice.
Congratulations.
And congratulations to all of our students. Thank you for doing such a great job representing West Bridgewater. Good luck to those moving on, and once again, congratulations to all of you. Great job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
everybody should be very proud of our hard work. Yeah. And of course, everyone is welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting, but we will take about a 3 to 5 minute break if you'd like to. We won't. West Bridgewater School Committee meeting. Superintendent's update, Mr. Bodwin.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hume. So I just want to give you an update on where we are with the MSBA and our building project. We, on Friday, submitted to the Central Registry our request for services, the RFS, which ended up being a 142-page document. So we have that on the ready to go. It's going to be advertised Wednesday, the 7th. Will also appear in the Brockton Enterprise at that time. So MSBA was good, going back and forth with them, making sure we have a complete and thorough document to their approval. So once it was, we could then advertise it. Some of the timelines, so everyone is aware, February 14th, so a week from Wednesday, we will have an informational meeting. It'll start at the Roselle McDonald, and then we'll probably tour each of the 3 schools, the elementary schools, both in the buildings and the sites as well. We'll find out who's coming, and we'll make proper arrangements. I have let the principals know so they can let their staff know. February 21st, so it will be posted for 2 weeks. All the responses are due on the 21st. Then we'll have some time to go through them and select a short list of candidates to be interviewed, which will happen on March 6th. On March 12th, we'll make our final selection, and we'll submit that to the MSBA. And in preparation for their OPM review panel on April 8th. So a lot goes on between now and April 8th to get on their agenda for their board meeting. After we meet with the MSBA and they give their final approval, then we'll negotiate a contract with the selected company. So our next steps after that, we'll have an OPM on board. We will start the process with another RFS, but this time for the designer / architect for the project. We have a couple upcoming meetings. We have our OPM selection subcommittee meeting on February 26th, and then our full board meeting on March 12th. So although it doesn't seem like things are moving, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with the building project.
I know a lot of work went into that RFS, so thank you for
You're
all the
welcome.
time that you put into
It's quite a
that.
learning experience.
Yeah, it was a
It was
lot.
good in the end.
It was a lot.
And I also want to provide a bit of a budget update. We will have more budget meetings coming up in March, but I think it's important just to let you know where we are in terms of some general considerations for our FY25 budget. We have had 2 successful meetings with representatives from the town. Thank you to Mr. Schmier and Mrs. Dragonetti for attending those. We've had Town Administrator Mr. Gagné, we've had Board of Selectmen member Mr. Ryan, and Finance Committee Chair Ms. Fox at those meetings, one or both of them. It's been very, and Kathy Grant also with the business manager, just to talk about what's going on, share our concerns, share what we see as future budget needs within the district. So I think it's been very helpful, and I think this is something that we should continue every single year. I think it's good open communication with the town, being a department of the town. We do have school committee meetings on March 4th and March 11th, which will go over the budget. We'll end up going line by line through the budget, sharing with you for a final hopeful approval on March 11th. And then the week of the 18th of March, we will have meetings with the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen. So some of the things that we need to consider as we are building the budget, and Mrs. Grant is doing a great job working through it now to get our kind of first run at it as an administrative team. We're looking at an ESSER cliff. A lot of districts are looking at this. Ours is around $180,000 used for staff for this fiscal year. So how are we going to make that up? Again, we would love to take our ESSER 3 and not use it on staff, but that has been necessary to do so. So there will be a cliff created by that going away. Our school choice enrollment, we haven't set a number yet. Last year we budgeted 260. We're in the 240s, low 240s right now. Believe we graduate 33 seniors who are school choice, so we need to try to backfill as many of them as we can. We look at grade 9 as one of the areas we add the most students. In the elementary level, we will add very few, if any, depending on grade level and need. Last year, we really just added siblings at the elementary level. I've said it before, but my concern isn't just next year, it's the year after and the year after that. We're years away still from a completed building project. So even a few students every year is going to create an additional need for an additional teacher. Out-of-district tuitions and transportation is going to be up this year. Again, this is very similar to other districts. They're seeing this as well. We do our best to handle our students' needs within the district, but sometimes they need that higher level of service outside of the district. We have contractual obligations and step and track raises for all staff within the district. We have positions of need, which we'll talk about. These aren't wants, these aren't desires, these are things we need due to our enrollment, due to the needs of our students. We have a population growth in town. Our student population was plus 24. A lot of districts are seeing a negative population decrease. We're seeing an increase, which helps with our Chapter 70, but it also creates more students within the school. And we haven't really seen, I don't think, the big bump from the housing yet. It will happen, though. We have an increase in our high needs students. Over the past 3 years, we've gone up about 10% within the district, and that continues to go up. This year, the Chapter 70 money did come out, the money from the state. We were up a little over 400,000, less than we were the year before, but at 6.2%, we were still above the state average, which was a 4% increase. A lot of districts in the state got minimum aid, which is $30 per student. We were much higher than that. And again, I've said it before, but other districts are experiencing very similar issues and concerns that we are in terms of our district placements, ESSER cliffs, and whatnot. So it's not unique. I think it's with inflation being so high, there are needs that we have that we, need more funding for. So we'll.
So to be clear, the ESSER cliff, is that for the next fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So funding from ESSER ends with this school year?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, more to follow.
All right, thank you very much. Next up is our student rep update. Reese, thank you.
Spring Street School. Preschool has been learning to be scientists by following the scientific method through questioning, predicting, experimenting, and sharing their results. The science and engineering activities have included building a habitat for Sally the squirrel, building a toy using material to explore the 5 senses, exploring how things can change by melting ice using different materials such as salt, and exploring characteristics of animals that live in cold climates. They are also continuing our science and of reading lessons using the Haggerty and Foundations programs, as well as hands-on learning activities. Kindergarten has been eagerly working on their phonemic awareness and phonemic skills through our Haggerty and Foundations curriculum. We are now formally teaching reading CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant, and their excitement for reading is contagious. We have just finished reading the story Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which focuses on repeated language, noticing key details in a text and wondering about what we are reading. They have been excelling at the notice and wonder part of wit and wisdom curriculum this year. Math has always been very exciting with their focus on identifying, building, and showing ways to make teen numbers and the introduction to addition. In science, we have been learning about the 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gases. Roselle McDonald School. Grade 1 enjoyed a visit from Delilah, an inflatable right whale who was 45 feet long and 15 feet wide, 15 feet tall. They got to go inside the whale to learn about its body and what it eats. They also looked at and touched real whale vertebrae and baleen. Thank you to the Whale and Dolphin Conservation and the WBPTO for another amazing presentation. On January 12th, all grade 2 students participated in the Read for 2024 Reading and Pizza Party. Students wore their pajamas to school to ensure maximum comfort, and they were challenged to read for 2,024 seconds. They enjoyed a delicious pizza party lunch to celebrate. Congratulations to all second graders for their accomplishment. Many thanks to Grand Slam for filling our large pizza order, the PTO for sponsoring our event, and Anne-Marie Grinder and the cafeteria staff for providing fresh veggies, drinks, ice cream, and treats for all students. The Roselle McDonald has a student council consisting of 30 student leaders who are eager to make some positive changes this year. After a few weeks of discussions and planning, the council formed into 4 subcommittees to help them achieve as much as possible this year. The subcommittees have been researching ideas for a collaborative project with the food department, writing down discussion points as they plan to meet with the principal, drafting a letter to the food pantry, and preparing a small presentation to encourage the community to support their fundraising efforts. The Roselle McDonald Student Council Advisor, Ms. Enos and Ms. Resendez, are quite impressed and inspired by their hard work, determination, and cooperative collaboration. Many great things are in the works. Howard. The Howard students have been diligently working on their academics since returning from winter break. In grade 4, during ELA class, students are beginning a nonfiction text called Mountains and are working on their narrative essays. In math, students are beginning multiplicative comparisons before they move into fractions. In grade 5, ELA students are reading the Phantom Toolbooth and working on their narrative essays. In math, students are using equivalent fractions to add and subtract fractions. In science, students are beginning a unit of chemical reactions and property of matter. In grade 6, ELA students In ELA class, students are reading the story of Ramaya Divine Loophole before they move on to the Odyssey. Students are learning about a hero's journey through monomyths. In science, students are analyzing and interpreting data in the distribution of fossil rocks, continental shapes, and seafloor structures to explain Wenner's hypothesis about the movement of continents. In social studies, grade 6 is celebrating Black History Month with a Wall of Fame, which will be displayed throughout the Howard School hallways. Following this, they will be beginning their Ancient Egypt unit, which will accumulate in a learning exhibit. On Friday, Howard held its annual monthly Pride raffle to bring the new month of February. Middle Senior High School. The first semester has come to an end. High school students began their new half-year courses along with their full-year courses, and middle school students moved on to their third quarter exploratory plus classes. Middle school students had a fun evening during Midnight Madness. Students had the opportunity to compete, play, eat, and jump around in the inflatables. The students should be commended for their behavior, and a big thank you to the staff and parent volunteers who helped make it a successful night. 8th grade students had the opportunity to travel to the Kennedy Institute. This was a great opportunity for students who were immersed in a Senate simulation on climate change. Kiss, a therapy dog, came for a visit last week. Kiss and her handler walked around the school from 12 to 2 visiting classrooms. Students loved Kiss, and she made their day.
Much.
Thank you, Reese. Just a couple things. I know she read about, Reese said about wit and wisdom, foundations, integrity, and just another shout out to our staff. This is year 2 at the elementary level, and they continue to work very hard, and they're really getting great gains in the curriculum. And it takes a while to get through it, but I think they're really doing a very nice job. And for the middle senior high school, we had the Midnight Madness, and I was talking to one parent, and they said, "Oh my gosh, my kid was so excited to spend the whole night at school." They said, "Wish that happened during the day," but she was so excited. So thank you for offering that.
All right, moving on. Under business, first up is an item pertaining to the Reads Collaborative. You'll recall at our December meeting, we voted to approve the admittance of Brockton Public Schools and the Whitman-Hanson Regional School District as new members to the Reads Collaborative. This vote was subject to a majority vote of 2/3 of the Reads Collaborative member school committees, which was received. So tonight, we need to vote on approving the updated Reads Collaborative Agreement. A copy was in our folder, if you all saw it.
Yep.
So is there a motion to approve the updated agreement effective July 1st, 2024?
I'll make the motion to approve the agreement.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was the same. I think we just updated the date and the 2 new districts,
Yeah.
so. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Next up is another voting issue, the middle senior high school program of study changes. Mrs. Page?
I believe you all got a copy, almost like a cheat sheet of the changes, but I will go through them with you. The school committee names, just those will be updated as soon, I believe, as the election is April, so then we'll make those changes. Multiple pages throughout the book, just some changes in the pronouns, just updating those. Multiple pages, you'll notice, some of it will say not running 2024, 2025 school year. Many times we just alternate the classes so that we have the staff to teach and to keep it current and for the kids to not get bored with the same classes all the time. On page 38, in the art department, printmaking was a new course that they came forward, which is exciting. It sounds like a fabulous class and really moving into, you know, the 21st century big time. So it sounds like a really cool course. We have a lot of students who are into the arts, so this will be another avenue for them to pursue, which I think is exciting. I believe it may have said not running, but I think we are going to put it out there and see what the numbers are for signups, and if we can make it happen, we would like to, if there's enough requests for it. Change in the grade level for chorus. It used to be that you could take honors as a freshman. In speaking with the department, they really want to start that at the 10th grade level and keep CP for grade 9. So once they get to the 10th grade, have more experience at the high school, that they can move into the honors portion of chorus. This year, we moved to go to 9th and 10th grade phys ed being a full year instead. It used to be half year, 2 half years. It just is more concise for the staff with the health rotation. Having the same kids for the full year, making sure that all students are getting the proper health components within their phys ed and health. So that's why we're going to stick with the full year. It just has worked out better. On page 48, adding the prerequisite language for Algebra 2. This to limit freshmen from selecting the wrong algebra class. This really is more for those students who double up as an 8th grader and take Math 8 along with Algebra 1, Honors Algebra 1. That allows them the avenue to get to Calc BC as a senior. They can go in and take Geometry and Algebra 2 as freshmen and then move forward in a more rigorous fast track to the BC. So a lot of students, just clarifying the wording there is going to help kids to not select Algebra 2 instead of Algebra 1 if they haven't taken it as an 8th grader. Biotechnology, just really a word change. Because it isn't a full year course, we really weren't getting all of the components of a full biotechnology course. So in speaking with the coordinator and the teacher, biotech is a full year, but forensic, which is covered in a half-year portion of that course, is more of a true title. So that's why it's just really a name change. Mr. Craig came to me this year. That's the TV production teacher, and justifiably so. And it's things that you think of, you know, when you're having conversations and we do this with language and some of the higher courses, that when you get to that 4th year, it really is a full honors credit course. These kids are really doing a lot of work. They're, you know, making documentaries, so they really deserve that honors credit. So we want to move that to honors only as a TV4, sorry. And then another new course, which is exciting, computer science discoveries. More and more we're seeing that the students want to go into the computer science world, and this will just allow for, again, another differentiation of a computer class for them to take. So those are all the changes that I have, but I don't know if anybody had any questions. Okay. We will go live with it. Once it's voted on, teachers will start having conversations with students tomorrow about their recommendations for levels. We'll be meeting with students next week, and then they'll be going home. I'll send information home to parents, and then during February vacation, they'll be selecting for next year. Our goal is to get the schedule out when the students leave in June.
Stay in the handbook, right, but just be noted, so they'll still be
They're not
documented.
offered to change them out year to year.
That's what I thought, okay.
Thank you.
The updated program of studies for the middle senior high school with the changes as presented, including the addition of two new courses, computer science discoveries and printmaking for the 2024-2025 school year. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moved. Thank you. Moving along, Inclusion Matters update. Mr. Schmier.
All right. The mission of Inclusion Matters as West Bridgewater Special Education Parent Advisory Council is to build inclusive schools and communities. We do this by supporting families of students with IEPs and 504s, and including regular education parents by offering advice, advocacy within the school system, and opportunities for education and community building through regular workshops and events for parents, guardians, and families. Please mark your calendars for our March event, Now That You've Been Accepted, Planning the College Transition. The young adult's adjustment to college is a challenge, especially when they have disability-related needs. Join Inclusion Matters as we host Amy Breton, a college learning specialist with Focus Collegiate. Amy has over 10 years of experience working in accessibility, most recently with Holy Cross, where she was Associate Director of the Office of Accessibility Services. Amy has vast knowledge and experience assisting individuals in understanding the process and building the self-advocacy skills needed to transition their IEPs into accommodations. Come join us as we learn how students can have their educational needs met at the post-secondary level. This event will be held on Tuesday, March 26th via Zoom. In the words of Norman Kuntz, when inclusive education is fully embraced, we abandon the idea that children have to become normal in order to contribute to the world. We begin to look beyond typical ways of becoming valued members of the community, and in doing so, begin to realize the achievable goal of providing all children with an authentic sense of belonging. For more information about Inclusion Matters and upcoming events, you can find us on Facebook at Inclusion Matters MA or by visiting our website at www.inclusionmattersma.com.
Great, thank you, Mr. Schmier. Next up, policies. Mrs. Milton?
Okay, so for policies to open, we have 8 for review for the next school committee meeting on Monday, March 4th. EBAB, Pest Management Policy, EC, Buildings and Grounds Management, ECA, Buildings and Ground Security, ECAC, Vandalism, ECAF, Security Cameras in Schools, EDC, Authorized Use of School-Owned Materials, EFAB, Life-Threatening Allergic Reactions, and EFE, Civil Rights Complaint Policy for Child Nutrition Programs. Can I get a second?
Second.
These are we're going to try to close out the E's, to be honest. Get 100% in that section, so. All righty, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, moving on to the next list. So tonight, we're going to have 2 motions. The first will be to move to adopt the following 12 policies. BHE, use of electronic messaging by school committee members. EFC, universal free school meals. EFD, meal charge policy. EHAA, district security relating to technology. EHB, data and records retention. GBEE, personnel use of technology. JICJ, student use of technology in schools. KDC, community use of digital resources. KDCB, district website and social media. IJND, access to digital resources. IJNDB, empowered digital use policy. And IJNDC, internet publication. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, so, all right, here we go. So there are 6 that were new to our index. I'll go through them at a very high level as to what they included. They were all in the folder with the, for everything, whether or not they were new or they were edits. So EHAA, district security relating to technology. This is a new policy that provides foundation for administrative procedure and practice as to ensure information is stored and accessed on district technology that is appropriately protected. AHB, data and records retention. This policy addresses the retention of records, including electronic communications by public officials. GBEE, personnel use of technology. It's, again, new policy that outlines the responsibilities of district personnel and their use of technology. JICJ, student use of technology in school. This new policy outlines the vision and responsibilities of the students using the technologies. One thing that I want to mention is annually, all students must agree to and sign an appropriate digital use form that's developed by Mr. Bodwell and his team in conjunction with the Director of Technology. And this form is signed by parents and guardians for students under the age of 18. So the digital use form that I just mentioned is also going to be mentioned in another policy later, IJNDB, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And KDC, community use of digital resources. This new policy recognizes that digital resources, most notably public Wi-Fi, are now a common public resource of the school, outlining appropriate considerations for that. KDCB, district website and social media. This new policy recognizes that districts and schools commonly have both websites and social media pages and outlines best practice, including public comments in such sites. To note, it mentions, and I put a quote in to read out loud, In order for public communication with the school committee and district personnel to be responded to in a timely manner, in line with legal requirements for public communication, commenting on all districts in school sites will be turned off. Every school in district site will clearly indicate this policy and will direct those wishing to contact the school and district personnel to the appropriate venues to do so. So, obviously, you know, we go through great lengths to be as consistent as possible with MASC. So there's two things in here that I want to, what I just read. Number one is the commenting, because I think right now when we post, we have comments open. I comment away. I love when I see comments. I throw hearts, I throw confetti, I throw whatever I can in there. So that's something that we should maybe take offline and think about how, you know, if we want to adopt that moving forward. The other thing is regarding commenting on social media. Mr. Bodwell, I know I mentioned to you recently I had a parent interaction in a Target. And there was someone that said, oh, nobody's replied to my comments, whether or not it was directed to the school committee or the school officials or not. That to me stuck out as, you know, parents and guardians or whomever, if they have a concern or an issue, they need to come to the schools directly, whether it to be to you or the administrators or any of us on the school committee. We're not going to be replying to commentary or fuzz buzz on social media. So, all right. There were some policies that had changes to content. BAG, electronic messaging by the school committee. Most of the policy remained the same, but what changed was MASC removed the requirement that the school committee, in consultation with the superintendent of schools, shall annually designate a member of the central office staff that shall be copied on all electronic mail correspondence between and amongst members of the school committee or the district that shall provide email addresses which are archived that to be retained in the central office. So basically, that requirement's been removed. EFC, universal free school meals. This is a policy that we had reviewed at our meeting in October 2023. However, they've went in and made some major changes to content. They also, they rewrote the policy. They changed the title from free and reduced price meal food services. EFD, school nutrition program charge policy, the title's changed. Also, they removed the verbiage regarding the student and parent/guardian payments for meals and replaced it with language more around the a la carte of the items since everything's changed with the school meal programs. I just moved my mouse, sorry about that. IJND, access to digital resources, major changes to this policy. It's basically been redrafted and removes a lot of the language and makes it more in line with the other INJ policies. And a majority of what was taken out is now in IJNDC. So IJNDC, internet publication, this one had significant changes as well. In addition, the title changing from internet publication to acceptable use of digital resources. Most of the verbiage was removed. Supervision and approval of web pages can now be found in policies KDCB, which is the district website and social media policy, and GBEE, personnel use of technology that I had mentioned before. Safety precautions, which outline student photographs and their likeness, are covered under FERPA. Thank you, Mr. Bodwell, for confirming. One thing that when we looked at it, and Robin and I made a note to dig a little bit deeper, was this policy outlined student photographs, but it didn't say anything about staff. So, you know, there may be staff that don't want their photographs out there. So that's something we made a note about to look into separately, but that policy is pretty straightforward outside of that. And almost there. IJNDB, digital use policy. Again, the title changed, and we're recommending everything from issue devices down. If you look at the policy, that's been reviewed to be included in a new document which is the digital use form. which I mentioned in a few of these policies already, that's owned and maintained by administration to be signed off annually by parents, staff, and guardians. All right, those are for the approvals. Any questions?
I just had a question
Yeah.
about the district website and social media. Are you interpreting that the commenting on all district and school sites be turned off? You're talking about like the social media web pages for the schools?
Yeah, let me just pull up the policy. Which one was that again? The one I took the excerpt from. Sorry, KDCB. Sorry, I'm just going to pull it up. Yeah, so this is the new policy. I can read the whole thing. It says, "The school committee wishes to ensure accurate delivery of information as such, the West Bridgewater Public Schools will maintain a district website in such district and school social media accounts as authorized by the superintendent. All such online platforms will be maintained by district staff acting in their professional capacities. In order for public communication with the school committee and district personnel to be responded to in a timely manner, in line with legal requirements for public communication, commenting on all district and school sites will be turned off." This is the MASC policy. This is what I said that we
Yeah.
can take offline. Every school and district site will clearly indicate this policy and will direct those wishing to contact the school and district personnel to the appropriate venues to do so. Unauthorized use of district and school name is prohibited. High priority will be placed on such platforms being accessible, frequently updated, and user-friendly.
So that would be a change, because obviously when the principals would ever post something, people are allowed to comment on it. So is this saying that commenting should be turned off and nobody should be able to comment?
Yeah, so this is a new policy. So I don't think there was a policy surrounding how to administer before.
Okay.
It seems like they're trying to resolve a problem where people feel like they're reaching out to the school to address some issue that
Via
they
that.
feel was related to whatever post, and they're not getting a response back.
Right, but I don't think, I mean,
I'm
I
not sure
don't-
that that's come up in our district.
We've had people ask questions, and sometimes I've responded to them. Sometimes they're more statements than questions. So if we were to remove commenting, I don't think it would create a problem, because then I think it would push people towards asking someone who can provide an answer rather than, a comment on a post. Sometimes comments on posts are made weeks or months after. Sometimes we'll see, because I'll get an email of a comment being made, and I'll have to reference back, what was that? What were they questioning?
Yeah.
So in terms of timeliness, I think it might be helpful to remove that, and then putting some, disclaimer somewhere on the, on the social media site, mostly, really Facebook is the one, our site, to say, referencing this policy might be helpful.
Yeah.
Or just to contact the school if there's a question or concern.
Yeah,
We don't tend to get a lot of comments. If so, they're usually just positive.
Right, that's what I'm thinking about, like, losing that ability for people
I
to
know.
say,
Right,
Often-
and that's what I was
This
saying.
is-
I'm always, throwing in, confetti or
Hearts and-
hearts or
yeah.
whatever, right? And-
Or often, sometimes there's former teachers that will comment
Yeah.
right.
very
yeah,
positively, which
yeah.
is nice to
Right,
see.
right,
Yes.
yeah.
So, I mean, we can continue the discussion.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's important to make it clear that, you may not get a response to a question, for sure. I think
Right.
it's not like we're monitoring that for content.
right,
We're providing content, but it's really not interactive.
right, and if you have a question, you should contact
Reach
the
out.
appropriate,
If
yeah.
that
I wonder if we could meet that same spirit of the policy by saying, please direct all comments or questions to the school if you need some assistance,
Follow up
rather
or-
than shutting down everything and not allowing parents to kind of talk to each other on something
On
that's
a-
And that's-
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So do we want to, wait on that one?
We can
Vote
wait,
on it
yeah, we
and
can
just
wait. If everybody's good with everything else, we can sit back and wait on that
wait
one.
on that?
I can
I'm
see what
fine
we
with
can
it.
add in there, onto the site itself.
I think
to-
it's a,
Yeah.
I think it's a big change. It's a big
Yeah.
cultural change for
Right.
us,
Right.
and,
I hate to see it go away.
oh, yeah.
No,
I don't either. So
Yeah.
if I do get messages, sorry, I probably have not responded. If
not
it's
the
been a
best way to
comment,
reach
I've
us,
seen it,
yeah.
but the other ones, I don't.
What
Oh.
social media accounts do we have? Just Facebook or is that?
We are-
Instagram?
we have Twitter.
Twitter is the other big one.
Teachers have their own as well.
Some of the class
Yeah.
pages, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But this would only be for the school, the ones that
It's district websites and
Yeah, if we're
school
talking
social
strictly
media
district, we
accounts.
could,
So what the teachers do, it's their own.
Well, they'd
According to
be-
the teachers' policy.
Well, it says
They would
school
be
social media.
representing the
yeah, I think they're
the
still under the
district.
umbrella.
If it's an
Of the
official
district.
class that we hold in the school.
Right.
Okay.
So, but we could put that, have them all put that disclaimer.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty easy to do. It could be right within the content of their,
The main page when it
page.
comes up,
Yeah.
yeah.
So one other policy, you mentioned electronic messaging by school committee members. So the MASC is now not recommending that we
Copy.
require, that we copy someone, but we have archived.
Correct. Our
Records
messages are
anyway, so-
retained, yeah, document
I
retention.
guess we met that requirement that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was, sorry. My mind. KDCB.
Right, so we'll hold on that one.
Okay, so the approval for policies will be BHE, EHAA, EHB, GBEE, IJNB, IJNDB, IJNDBC, JICJ, JLCE, KDC, EFC, and EFD. Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to approve those as presented, changes and the new ones.
Seconded.
alrighty. All right, I'm going to make a new motion. So we're going to make a motion to hold policy KDCB until the next school committee meeting, and that policy is district website and social media. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any questions? You good? All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty.
Okay,
And I have one more.
okay.
I swear it'll be quick. All right, move to rescind policy JLCE, automated external defibrillator policy and procedures, or second. Okay,
Second.
this is a policy that it was a policy, MASC no longer has it as its own standalone policy. It basically had stated that the superintendent would maintain an emergency medical response plan for each school, which includes AED locations. We verified with Mr. Bodwell that the requirements are changing with MERP, and he will add any applicable information that is not within that.
Correct, yeah. So the MERP needs to be redone for, I think, next September. I have talked to our lead nurse about this in terms of procedures that they follow to make sure they're up to date, and all that information will be included in the MERP.
Awesome. Okay, all in favor to rescind?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moved. Thank you.
All right, as always, thank you for all the work and the policies. I know it's a lot.
Next month is a small list.
Okay. All right, warrants. Mrs. Skowski.
Excuse me for my voice. The following warrants were issued and paid for the financial year 2024. Bill warrants. January 4th, 2024 was $62,102.68. On January 11th, 2024, $82,362.31. January 18th, 2024, $153,924.73. And January 25th, 2024, $92,301.37. And the following payroll warrants were paid out on January 5th, 2024, $569,504.81. January 19th, 2024, $550,268.90. As always, all warrants are public record, and once signed are available in the Selectman's office for review. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Public comment. Members of the audience wishing to address the committee may do so at this time. Audience members shall limit comments to 3 minutes and are reminded that public comment is not a discussion, debate, or dialogue between individuals and the school committee. Personnel issues or issues that would violate student or employee confidentiality cannot be addressed during the public comments. All All right, seeing none, we will just move on to the calendar events. District-wide, there'll be a half-day on February 7th, and winter break with no school is February 19th through the 23rd. District meetings, there'll be a PTO meeting on February 7th at 7 o'clock in the RLM CAF. Athletic boosters, the next meeting will be February 14th at 7 o'clock PM here in the Learning Commons. And the next superintendent coffee hour will be February 9th at 9 o'clock. The middle senior high school, on Fridays, the ski club goes up to Wachusett Mountain. On Wednesdays, there is yoga with Mrs. Brogna during Power Block. And on Thursdays, improv club with Mr. Mail during Power Block. On February 6th, there'll be a school-wide South Coast Academic Bowl. And on February 29th, March 1st, and March 4th, there'll be a dodgeball tournament in the gym. March 4th through the 8th is Spirit Week, and also on March 4th, there'll be a School Improvement Council meeting at 2:30. At the Howard School, on February 6th, there'll be a Howard School Council meeting at 2:45, and on February 27th, marks closed for grades 4 and 5. At the Rose L. McDonald School, on February 26th, there'll be a School Improvement Council meeting at 3:15, and also on February 27th, the marks closed for that school. On March 1st, there'll be a presentation by Tommy James on the magic of books, sponsored by the PTO. Spring Street School, February 26th is their School Improvement Council meeting at 3 o'clock. And on March 1st, preschool registration will open online. Our next regular school committee meeting and the public budget hearing will be held on Monday, March 4th, 2024 at 6 PM here in the Learning Commons. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded?
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.